Hi, this is Kathie. Welcome to Craft with Kathie. You want to take a second and comment below. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm coming at you from the suburbs of Chicago this evening, where we've moved right past spring and into summer. It's in the mid-upper 80s, a little bit crazy for June 4th. And personally, I opt for a little bit cooler. I'm just mixing up some of my paste here, making sure it's the consistency between yogurt and sour cream. And that was a little bit too thin, and I've had my hat did have the cover off for a bit, getting it to thicken up a little bit. This is a project that I'd like to work on tonight, and I think it really says a lot. Yes, love conquers all. I think we think of love as always romantic love, or that's the first tendency that we have to think of, but love can take many different forms, and I have to say my personal opinion in the world right now, we all can use more love of any kind. Things have been crazy, and I think if people just were a little bit more charitable to each other and looked into their hearts and realized when they're not treating people properly or they're not being their best, I think the world could be a much better place. So this is a transfer that I'm going to use for this project. Anyway, this is the transfer. If you're not familiar with our transfers, they're made out of vinyl, which is the teal, and silkscreen, which is the white. Our transfers come in a little cellophane bag. And if you're not quite sure how to open up, actually on the back side there is a little flap below the hanger. And if you lift this resealable adhesive flap open, then when you're done with your transfer, you can actually put it back in the cellophane bag for storage. And you could either lie it flat or you could actually hang them up, whatever works on your space and how you organize your craft materials. So I'm going to just seal that flap back up, move that out of the way. This is a brand new transfer that I haven't yet used, so I want to label the back of it. Our transfers are reusable, generally 8 to 12 times based upon the proper care. And I'm going to label it on the back with the name. This paper backing is called the transfer backing. It's white. One side is dull, which is the side that I'm writing on now. And the other side is kind of shiny, and that's the side that goes against the sticky or the adhesive side of our transfers. So the transfers just peel off the backing. Sometimes I have a hard time getting a new one off, and being that I broke my fingernail the other day, and it's just, this finger is still sore, oddly enough. There we go. So let's peel it off and put the back. Here's the shiny part of the backer. Dull versus shiny. The back of the transfer is very shiny. That's the adhesive. Before I use the transfer, I need to fuzz it, and I'm going to use what's called a fuzzing towel or a fuzzing cloth. And what that does is it deliberately applies lint to the back of the transfer so it's not quite as sticky. It lessens the adhesiveness of it. And the reason you want to do that, especially with brand new transfers, is you want to make them easy to remove from the surface that you're putting them on. Now our transfers can be used on a lot of different surfaces: wood, metal, glass, chalkboard, dry erase, ceramic. It really depends on what you want to apply it to. Obviously it's easier if the surface is flat. We can also use our transfers on porous surfaces like fabric, shirts or jeans or jackets or blankets, or like dish towels or whatever, something with not a very high nap. And for that type of application we use ink instead of chalk. I'm going to be using chalk paste, not paint, chalk paste tonight that's specially formulated for use with our transfers. when you use the ink has to be heat set either through a heat press or an iron for like a t-shirt, or an oven for like mugs or something of that nature. So anything that you want to be permanent or food safe, you definitely want to heat set. You want to use ink and you want to heat set. I am going to put this transfer on one of our 8-in boards. This is a beautiful magnetic distressed board. The chalkboard's black, the framing is white, and you can see that it's deliberately distressed. And I think what I'm thinking of for the coloring on here, I think it would go good on this board, so that's why I chose this particular board. So I'm pulling the transfer, lifting the transfer off of my fuzzing cloth, and I'm going to center it on my board, which it fits pretty closely in here. So from the middle out, I'm smoothing it to make sure there are no air bubbles underneath my silk screen. If there's an air bubble underneath your the teal part, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it would be nice not to have it there, but you want to make sure that your silk screen is nice and flat against your surface, because I'm going to use a squeegee to apply the chalk paste and squeeze it through the silk screen onto the chalkboard behind it. And the colors I've chosen for this project are Couture Teal, Guava, and Bright White. And I previously stirred these up to make sure they were the proper consistency. If your paste has gotten too thick, you want to add a little spritz of distilled water. And you might say, why distilled water? Well, sometimes tap water can have impurities in it, so you don't want to accidentally have any bacteria or anything that might be in your paste. So you use distilled water. And actually, I need to thin this down a little bit. It's thickened up a bit. And stirring it up a bit. And I might have just put a little bit too much in there, and I probably shouldn't be doing it over my surface here. So let me move it out of the way. If you have any questions, please feel free to just go ahead and ask. And if I see your question, I will answer it as I'm doing the live. If I don't see it until afterwards, I gladly will answer it then. Anything that I could, any questions that I could resolve or any help that I could provide, I'm always happy to do that. And if you have any suggestions as for projects that you'd like to see, or particular transfers, or kind of things for a particular holiday or theme or decoration of whatever sort, please just comment below, and I'm happy to see if I could do that for you. I've got a couple little chunky pieces in here yet. I'll still mix it up a little bit. I'm not doing the teal right at first. But what I'm thinking of doing with this is actually using white for this little border, and teal for my little design here, and then guava for the Love Conquers All. But I think the conquers, I'm going to make coral, teal, and then white, and do a little bit of blending there. It won't quite be an ombre because obviously they're 3 colors as opposed to shades of the same color. But I think it'll give it a little bit of a Southwestern flair, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the heat wave here or what, but that's what appealed to me this evening. This particular transfer happens to be our Club Couture transfer for the month of May. Our Club Couture provides exclusive transfers to club members and to designers for less than $20 a month. And it includes the reusable transfer, some individual chalk paste packets, and some individual chalk paste packets to complete the project. It's a great way to get a little bundle of creativity showing up on your doorstep once a month. And for the price of a couple premium coffees, if you will, I mean, you really can't beat the value there. Let me just turn this around so that it's easier to work with. and get a couple squeegees out here for me. This is my little basic bag. It's a great little bag to hold all my tools in. And I think I pulled out something that's a little bigger that I wanted. I think I'm looking for a regular squeegee. And I've got some minis here. Those will do. I've used our little stir sticks to stir up my paste. And they're great for actually stirring the paste and also applying it. And I'm using my squeegee to go over and pull the paste or push the paste through the transfer onto the surface behind it. And then once I have it applied everywhere, I'm going to go back, remove any lines, and add the excess back into my jar. See if I can get that. I'm getting really close to my border and I don't want to be that close. Okay. A little line. Okay. And then I want to do the awl. See, I should have used my stir stick instead of dipping my squeegee right in there. I want to do the awl on the guava also. And do these little doodads though in white. Make sure I have complete coverage there. And in general, you want to work fairly quick. You don't want the paste to dry in the silk screen, but there are ways of, there's a paint and peel method that allows you a little bit more time to do what you need to do, and a couple other things that you can do. So generally it's not much of an issue. I'm going to need to adjust this a little bit so that I can pull the squeegee towards me and see exactly what I'm doing here. I want the little dots to also be in the teal. Our paste goes on liquid but dries hard and is easily removed with a spritz of water and a paper towel. We also have a really nifty little scraper tool that just came out that makes removing paste from dry paste from a surface a real snap. Now I need to get in there with something a little bit smaller. And I have a few little squeegees that I've cut into pieces just for this type of little tiny area here to get the rest of this. Oops, and I might actually have a little air bubble underneath here. I just saw something as I went over it that looked a little strange. So I might have to fix that. Let me get rid of my lines here. Okay, and then I turn my board again and do the teal down here. I'm leaving the white for the last because it seems like the white paste dries a little bit quicker than the other colors. So I'll do that last so that it's not on there that long. If you're looking for a little bit of creativity and don't have a lot of time to actually spend with crafting, chalking is actually great because generally I could do a project in one sitting. I'm a craft person. I have a background of doing a lot of things. I started embroidering when I was a child and moved on to crochet and a whole flock of other things. And generally, most of that stuff takes quite a while to do. Days, weeks, whatever. Oops, it looks like I'm getting a little bit of a soupy mess here. And I might have went over the conker. We'll see. To fix that little area. But I have to admit, I think this is a lot of fun. It's relaxing. There's so many different things that you could do with an individual transfer, different surfaces, different looks, different colors, just different applications that it doesn't get boring. It's cool. What else could I say? So back to my guava. I want to call it coral because it's very close to the coral. I wanted a little bit of white on that too. I'm getting a little bit close in here. I'm going to smear this together so we have a little bit of blue, and then I'll throw the white at the bottom. And I'm actually going to wet my fingers with my little spritzer of water and smear this in a teeny bit to blend. Not quite sure what I'm going to get for a color here. It'll be interesting. And let me clean off my fingers. That's why I have a blue fingernail for an index on my index finger right now. I can't put this back in the jar because obviously I've mixed my colors here. So I'm wiping it off on a paper towel, and it's kind of hard. It's gotten a little soupy there. Okay, now let me add my white, stir it up, and add a little white to the bottom and see where we're at. I'm using my multi-tool. I've used this to mix it. It actually has like a little hook on the end, which is great for getting underneath the edge of the jar and mixing up your paste. But I'm also going to need to use the other side actually as a mini squeegee, if you will. So let me wet my fingers again, smear this together a little bit. Hopefully we get a little bit of blending there, and then the white at the very bottom. Doesn't turn out right, I'll just spritz it with water and redo it. It's one of the nice things, no harm, no foul. It's easy enough to fix your mistakes. Now that I have chalk paste all over my fingers, I'm sorry. I am not the neatest person by any far stretch of the imagination. Oh, this is great, right? Okay. And hopefully I have just plain white on the bottom here. Okay, and then I want to add, I do need to use the other side of this. I want to add some white for my border, or maybe I could use another small squeegee that I cut instead of doing this. The white on my border, and the white on these little doodads here, the little like flower leaves or whatever. And see where I'm at. Oh goodness, messy hand. Yep. I found some more little pieces in here, so this is great. Okay, let's add the excess back into the container there. I'm getting a little close to that coral. I want to be careful. Let me do my flowers here, all through the silk screen. Smooth it, remove the excess, back into my jar. And let me do this little border. Almost done. See how quick and easy this has been? Oops, I might have scraped a little bit too much off there. Let me get the rest of the silk screen. Getting close to my coral. I don't want to muddy my colors. Okay. I swear I heard a ding for a comment, but I don't see anything, so I'm waiting for it to pop up. Let me turn this around. Get the other little doodad here, the little leaves and flower or bud or whatever it is. Okay, I think that's it. Cover my jars real quick. Good idea to actually spritz your chalk paste with a little water before you close it up. That keeps it nice and moist so that your chalk does not dry out and is ready to go next time you're ready to use it. The white I'll clean up a little bit. I've got to do something with that multi-tool. I've got chalk paste all the way up it. Runaway lid. Okay. I think my paste is kind of dried in my hands. I'll have to wash it up at the sink. I'm going to lift this transfer up. You always want to lift from the top, the bottom, or from the sides. You never want to pull diagonally, because pulling diagonally could actually stretch the transfer, which you don't want to do. Think of it as kind of like material or fabric. I'm not sure. Go back and look at my transfer a little bit. The design that I've done in the teal looks like my paste may have lifted, but that might actually just be the design. No, here on the bottom, it definitely did lift. I let it dry too long. So what I will do is I will go back and I will erase this, or at least part of it. After I clean my transfer, I'll just erase it after it's dried and put the transfer down over it again and just do these two little sections of teal. How do you like the color blend on the Conquers? Love conquers all. I think when I do my little fix, I think it'll look pretty cool. If you want to see me actually repair this or you know, fix it or do the second take of it or whatever, let me know. I'd be happy to film it and post it or go live again, whatever works. This is this transfer was from our Club Couture monthly subscription, so it's less than $20 a month, and I'm waiting anxiously for June's delivery, because I've seen a sneak peek of it and it is absolutely awesome. The transfers each month are a total surprise to customers and designers, and they're sure to please. Thank you for taking the time to watch me this evening. I surely appreciate it. Stay safe. Have a wonderful life.